In 1969, the world watched on in amazement as the first humans stepped foot on another world. It seemed like our journey into space was just beginning. But in truth, it was coming to an end. The Apollo 11 mission was the end of the space race, and 50 years later, humans still haven't travelled any further into space. But is that about to change? Elon Musk has said he plans to send humans to Mars by 2024 to start building the first settlements. NASA are planning to send humans to the moon again in the same year before setting their sights on the Red Planet. And Virgin Galactic also has plans to send robots to Mars, maybe looking at humans in future. So today we are going to be exploring the Red Planet, thinking about why it's such a good target for human habitation beyond the Earth, and thinking about what we need to consider before sending out the first crew. So let's split this into 4 topics. We need to look at the conditions on the planet, think about which resources are available, think about how safe it is, and also think about how scientifically interesting it is. So there are some basic facts that you need to know before watching this video. You need to know that Mars is further from the Sun than the Earth. You should know that it's one of our closest neighbours. It gets closer to us than any other planet apart from Venus at certain points of its orbit. And finally, it is a terrestrial planet, which means that it has a solid rocky surface that we can stand on. So now that you have a basic understanding of the planet, let's have a look at it in more depth, starting with the atmosphere. The Martian atmosphere is 100 times thinner than the Earth's, which means it's not as efficient at holding in the sun's light, at blocking cosmic rays, or at providing humans with oxygen to breathe. So could we breathe on Mars? Simply, the answer is no. The atmosphere on Mars is almost entirely made up of carbon dioxide, with only about 1% oxygen, and that's compared to about 21% oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. In fact, on Mars we wouldn't even have enough oxygen to start a fire, which on Earth needs about 16% oxygen. For humans, we thrive at about 20% oxygen. If this drops to about 13%, our bodies can start becoming exhausted and our mental functions impaired, and anything below 6% we probably wouldn't survive. This means that humans living on Mars would need to spend the majority of their time inside modules that have been pumped full of oxygenated air. Because Mars's atmosphere is so much thinner than Earth's, this also means that the air pressure is lower. So this basically means there's less particles in the air like carbon dioxide and oxygen. But it can actually affect a few other things, including the boiling point of liquids. So lower air pressure means a lower boiling point. Click on the link in the description below to see a demo of this in action that you can actually try yourself at home. So the boiling point of water on Earth is of course 100 degrees Celsius. On Mars it's around 0 degrees Celsius. And why might this be a problem for humans on Mars? Well, our body temperature is around 37 degrees. That means all of the liquid in our body is around this temperature, which means that if we're stood on the surface of the planet, our blood would actually boil, as would the liquid on our tongues and in our eyes. Luckily, we can increase the air pressure in our spacesuits and in our pods by pumping them full of air, which we'll need to breathe anyway. And that is it for part 1. Join us again to learn more about the Martian environment and what we need to consider when planning a human mission to Mars.